I was in Turkey watching hot air balloons fill the sky at sunset, and next to me was the man of my life. Suddenly, he got down on one knee, holding a diamond ring.
Sophia, from the moment we met, I knew you were the keeper of my heart. Please say you'll marry me.
Yes! Then he leaned over me for a kiss. But wait, why does it feel so sloppy? I ignored it and went with the flow, then... Wow, not me. Still in bed, wiping drool off my face. Definitely not. Hi, I'm Sophia, the girl so in love with other people's love. Romance is my jam, and my whole life's motivation. I've lost count of the sleepless nights I've had just so I could find out the ending to a love story. Who knows? Maybe one day I'll have a perfect romantic relationship like those characters. Only reality won't stop slapping me in the face with 17 years of loneliness and counting. I know it sounds quite normal, right? Until some mean girl started mocking me and my hobby every day. Soph, how many novels have you read this week? I don't remember. Maybe 7? Wow, that's impressive. You must have a lot of love experience by reading these, huh? And how many roses did you receive this year? Oh, that's 0. School sucked, and home was not better. My parents mostly worked far from home, so it was usually just me rattling around the house. I got super lonely, but luckily, I had Gabrielle to keep me company. She's a sweet old lady I care for after school. She's a kind soul who always tells me the most magical love story, her own. My husband could have picked any girl, but he chose me. From the moment our eyes met across the meadow with only bluebells and buttercups separating us, we both knew that we were meant to be. Aww, this only fuels my drive to find true love, to know how it feels to be completely and utterly adored by someone. But no matter how hard I tried, my dating experiences were no more than a romantic comedy series, without the romantic. When I told Gabrielle about them, but she laughed and said I was too picky. I'm not picky, I swear. I just want my love to be perfect. He has to be smart, handsome, caring, romantic, and have the cutest smile. You must know someone. What about Shane? Didn't you like him at one point? I did, until I saw his B in geography. My boyfriend has to be good with directions or else he'd never find his way to me. What about my neighbor Iris's son? He's a smart young man your age. That nose picker? No way! This is hopeless. Am I destined to stay in this single inferno forever? Anyway, I needed to stop moaning and focus on my job. I started dusting, but I was so busy daydreaming that I knocked over a picture frame. I quickly picked it up and saw it was of a cute guy. Gabrielle, who's this? That's James, my grandson. He owns a company that makes robots. Oh, so that's why your house is fully equipped with cleaning robots, dishwashing robots, and so many others. Yes, I'm quite proud of him. But alas, I see him once in a blue moon 'cause he's so busy. But if you'd like, I can arrange for you two to meet. Thank you, but tech bros are a pass. Guys, I wasn't into nerdy guys who didn't have time for anyone but their latest inventions. I wanted my dream guy to only have eyes for me. Gabrielle then had an emergency at her neighbor's house, so I stayed and continued organizing all her junk. The plan was to put them in the garage, but there were so many corridors in our house that I took a wrong turn and ended up near the steps to the basement. The box was heavy, and I figured a garage and a basement were both storage places, so I took it down there. Huh? What is this place? It's like something out of Westworld. Then my heart almost jumped out to see this. Wow! He looked so lifelike that I unconsciously reached out to touch his skin. It felt as soft as a human's. Oh my god, I accidentally pressed some buttons on it!
I love you, my mistress.
The heck is that? Stay back, or else I'll hit you!
Mistress, you are beautiful.
Don't come any closer! Despite my threats, he started chasing me around.
I am at your service, my mistress. Please stop running.
Back off! I am not your mistress!
I believe this is yours, my mistress.
Well, it didn't seem like he meant any harm, and just acting like a true robot. Curious, I tested out some of the different modes, and oh wow, he can make a flower bouquet out of metal scraps, massage my feet like he's the world's best masseuse, and lift me like I don't weigh anything to him, like it comes straight out of a sci-fi movie. I tried searching for more info on this robot online, but no matter which keywords I used, no relevant results came up. It's almost time to go home. I needed to get back upstairs before Gabrielle found out what I'd been doing, but I couldn't find a deactivation button anywhere.
That tickles, haha. Can you please stop, miss?
As if you could feel tickles! Ugh! This will do for now. That evening, I was having dinner when I heard my doorbell ring. I opened it and was astonished to see that robot with a heart-shaped box.
Please, let me court you, my mistress.
Why on earth are you here? Go back to your place. But the robot didn't take no for an answer and kept harassing the doorbell and peeking through my window. Man, I can't take this anymore. I left my jacket at Gabrielle's, but I don't want to disturb her. Can you go get it for me?
My mistress, I will not leave your side, even if it means I have to disobey you.
So I had to walk him back to Gabrielle's house. I tried making him crawl through the doggy door so he wouldn't trigger any alarm, but little did we know. Oh my god, her security system reaches that part of the house too? Hey, robot, it looks like you're gonna have to stay at mine.
I don't like this name, mistress. Please give me another one.
Fine, I hereby name you Edward, after, the handsome Edward Cullen.
Quite outdated, but handsome is fitting.
Maybe I could get Edward back without Gabrielle knowing. I didn't want her to think I was a snoop, or worse, a thief. I liked her far too much to risk losing her as a friend. Only, having a robot around complicated things. Luckily, my parents were on a business trip, but that let Edward freely wreak havoc at my house. He put my toothbrush into the toilet bowl, ruined my white shirt by washing it with my pink sweater, and made me a cat food sandwich. I thought robots were smart. Why is this one so dumb? Also, I can't stop Edward from following me to school. Honestly, I couldn't help but feel a little smug in front of those mean girls with Edward by my side. As everyone gathered around the new student, he just randomly started singing and made up song about how much he loved me, and even threw heart-shaped confetti out of nowhere all over me. I needed to get him out of there before he pulled anything else, or worse, before they found out he was a robot and thought I was even more desperate than I already was. I finally managed to get a quiet night after leaving Edward with the cat, when suddenly I heard banging sounds. Jeez, Edward is roaming around again. Ed, can you please leave my cat alone? I'm trying to sleep. But then I heard footsteps marching toward me. I opened my eyes to see a masked figure holding a big bag. Who are you? Help! Then Edward immediately charged in and tackled the intruder to the floor. I was shaken up, but I managed to call the police while Edward stood guard over the knocked-out thief. Edward kept asking if I was okay, and if I got hurt, I couldn't help but smile back at him. He saved me, and was so cool doing it. From that day, I started treating him like I would a real boy. I showed him my favorite books, enjoyed movie nights with him, and went feeding the ducks in the park together. The more time I spent with him, the more I started to realize he was my other half. Well, see, he could make milk tea exactly how I liked it, gently comforted me when I got a B in English, and was unbelievably patient when it took me ages to decide my next move whenever we played chess. Best of all, we could have long, deep talks till the sun comes up. He was so perfect. As much as I didn't want to return him anymore, I felt guilty every time I faced Gabrielle, so I came to her house less and less. She texted me asking if I was okay, but I simply replied that I was busy with school. It seemed that she hadn't known anything about the disappearance of Ed. Life with Edward was just too good to give up, aside a few limitations. This morning I came to him with open arms, fully expecting his warm, fuzzy embrace, but turns out robots suck at giving hugs. It felt like hugging a mannequin. Then there's the occasional lagging, which was super embarrassing when it happened in public, like knocking over a stack of cans at the supermarket level of embarrassing. Or sometimes when he just froze for like 15 minutes loading my commands. But that's not a big deal. We were still happy together. Until that day. We were on a picnic in a meadow when it suddenly rained. We looked at each other and started laughing, chasing each other barefoot through the slicking grass, then dancing under the sudden silver curtain, twirling and splashing like giddy children. In that moment, I knew the storm outside was nothing compared to the one raging within, a joyous tempest of connection and love. Suddenly, Edward moved slower and his voice trailed off. Sophia, I don't feel so good. I won't make it. That's when I came back to my senses, realizing he wasn't a human. How can he suffer under the rain? No, Edward, no! You have to make it! Don't leave me! I really, really like you! How nice would it be if you were a real person? Then, to my horror, he froze on the spot. I tried to get him to move, but it was no use. He'd shut down. I couldn't sleep or eat or do anything. It was horribly empty without him. No one here asked me if I was okay, and no one's there to make me milk tea or laugh at silly things anymore. Worse still, prom was fast approaching. I decided to come without a date. I walked around, seeing people talking and laughing with each other, and somehow I felt so lost, and even lonelier than before. My heart sank to the floor. I couldn't be here any longer. As soon as I returned home from school, I went immediately looking for my Edward, but he wasn't there. Edward had gone! Hey, I'm Sophia. If you missed the first part of my story, I'll get you up to speed. I'm a hopeless romantic with the worst luck, until I stumbled upon the most gorgeous robot in my friend Gabriel's basement. Crazy, huh? Guess what? I also named him Edward and started dating him. But then, out of the blue, he vanished. So here I am, running around looking everywhere for my robot boyfriend, who had actually shut down. Ugh, I should have exercised harder. I kept running and running and running when bam! I accidentally ran head first into, oh my god, Edward! I immediately wrapped my arms around him so tightly. Where have you been? You got me worried sick. But hang on, his body's warm, and I could feel his heart beating. I let go and stared at him. This is Edward's face, all right, but something seemed off. I couldn't stop myself from poking his arm and pinching his cheeks. Whoa, you can blush now? Were you upgraded? Then I gave his hair a pull test and another hug. This is perfect. I love it. Then a drop of sweat landed on my cheek, rolling down to my mouth. It even tastes salty. Ed, you're so cool.
Enough already, crazy girl. You're lucky I don't condone violence against the mentally ill. Kindly get away from me, please.
So you're a real person?
What the heck?
Then why does he look just like Edward? As if things couldn't get any worse, the mean girls from school drove by. They seemed to have recognized me because their car slowed down and one girl stuck her head out. Walking to prom all alone? Where's your boyfriend? Did he see some sense and dump your sorry butt? Looks like you returned to spinsterhood for good. I couldn't say as much as a squeak back and simply lowered my head in shame. They were not wrong. Suddenly, someone linked arms with me. I looked up and saw that guy.
I'm her new boyfriend. You got a problem with my girl?
I was confused. So were the mean girls. Isn't he still the same guy? Is he crazy too? Birds of a cuckoo feather flock together. Let's go, girls. I was so grateful that he'd come to my rescue that I absent-mindedly clung onto his arm and jumped up and down in excitement. The guy just shook me off coldly.
Calm down. I only did it because I don't like seeing anyone being picked on, especially if they really are crazy. Anyway, do you remember where your house is? I'll take you home for safety.
Hey, I'm not crazy. I'm absolutely 100% normal. Let's see. The first person to discover America was Christ.
Okay, that's enough. No need to prove.
Then he told me his name was Nathan and asked why both me and those mean girls seemed certain he was my boyfriend. Yeesh. I couldn't exactly tell him I dated his doppelganger who's a robot, could I? He already thought I was nuts. It's just, you look a lot like someone I used to date, but, only from a distance. Close up, you have different eyebrows, different frowns, different smiles, and different expressions.
Okay, I guess that makes perfect sense.
Wow, he actually fell for that?
Okay, bye.
Wait, I still needed to find out if Nathan the human and Edward the robot were somehow connected. Hey!
What now?
I, enjoy talking to you, even though you think I'm crazy. Would you want to hang out again? I could show you my sticker collection? Jesus, what are you saying, Sophia?
Sure, you can hit me up whenever. Here you go.
Oh, wow, that was easy. I guess I had much more games than I thought I was. But 3 days had gone by and I still hadn't texted Nathan. I followed the 3-day rule and waited. But what if he ghosted me? The possibility of rejection sounded bad, but not finding Edward seemed even worse. That thought freaked me out so much I hit send without thinking. But I felt regret right after looking at my nonsense text. No way he would reply. Then my phone dinged.
Not since I was 12. Why? Don't tell me you collect robots as well as stickers.
Just curious. I don't collect robots, but now I'm thinking about it.
You make collecting robots sound the same as collecting stickers.
We messaged back and forth all day, and then before I knew it, we arranged our first date. We met at the park and he brought me ice cream. I happily accepted it, while still focusing on my mission. Yum, ice cream! Do you think robots get sad that they can't eat it?
I imagine they don't give it much thought.
Wow, you seem to know a lot about them. Did you study robotics or artificial intelligence?
No, I didn't. It's obvious robots don't enjoy ice cream like we do.
So you don't want to be a robot?
No, not really.
I tried to subtly sneak more robot questions in, but he managed to answer all of them and never seemed caught off guard or anything. The thing is, I was enjoying spending time with Nathan, especially as I was extra lonely without Edward. So I agreed to go on more dates with him. I also decided to start visiting Gabriel after school again. Today, I brought her some cookies and apologized for being absent, but she seemed distracted. When I asked her what's wrong, she just said, "I misplaced something important, and now my grandson is unhappy with me." Oh no! She already knew about the robot! Have you seen it anywhere? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to activate it. It just looked so real and it followed me home and became my boyfriend, but then it vanished and... Sweetie, what are you talking about? It was me. I took the robot.
What robot? I was talking about the control for the toaster robot.
Say what? I was screwed, and now I really had to come clean. Then I showed her a picture of me with Edward, and also me with Nathan.
Dearie me, they do look like twins. James hasn't said anything about it, so he probably hasn't noticed either. In the meantime, please keep looking for Edward, but it's best that you investigate the link between him and Nathan yourself. If I start asking James questions, he'll only get suspicious.
I was relieved Gabriel didn't scold me. She's right. I needed to solve these mysteries myself, and the only way was spending more time with Edward's identical human twin. And I'd been doing just that. Nathan and I had gone on a couple of dates already, and I liked how he was always sweet toward me, even though I was still shy and found it hard being around human guys. He always took care of me and didn't seem to notice any other girls. Best of all, we had a special spot just for us in this beautiful forest that Nathan showed me. I gradually noticed how similar he was to Edward, like how both of them often surprised me with sweet treats, didn't mind when I said or did silly things, and smiled whenever I smiled. Nathan was also super smart.
Do you know it takes 100 cocoa beans to make one candy bar?
I didn't know that. I just know how to love you.
Me too. You know what? The longer I'm with you, the cuter I find you. I just can't resist.
This cool guy had a silly side to him too, like when he'd bet me he could catch a squirrel or climb a really tall tree, which reminded me so much of Edward running after my cat. But unlike a robot, Nathan had this funny snort laugh and he chewed his nails. Ew! And he could be a grump when we were watching TV. He had this annoying habit of changing channels mid-show. ADHD much? Usually these traits would have put me off a guy, but for some reason when it came to Nathan, I found them endearing. I guess relationships aren't always rosy, because humans are supposed to have imperfections, right? Although, I figured there are things we could accept or overcome together. So I encouraged him to give the nail biting a break, and he eventually stopped. Besides, I gradually can't get mad when you took over the remote anymore. Nathan, I'm watching it!
Babe, just 5 minutes, please.
And who knew that a high-speed car chase could be so thrilling? So far, I'd say our relationship had been spontaneous, unexpected, and a whole lot of fun. Time passed, yet there was still no sign of Edward. I owed it to Gabriel to solve this mystery before her grandson found out and got mad. I knew I had one option left. Ask Nathan directly. Nate, you need to come clean with me. Do you know anything about this robot?
Yeah, right. Calling me a robot. Very funny, Soph.
Okay then, do you remember doing this? I saw Nathan's grin fade to this puzzled look.
I don't know anything about this. It's concerning that someone is using my appearance for an artificial intelligence product. Who knows what this could lead to?
Talking to Nathan hadn't helped at all. I was left feeling even more confused than before. So I decided to take action. The next day when I came to Gabriel's, as usual, she was putting on her coat to leave. She told me she just had to drop off a present at her neighbor's, but she'd be back soon and I must stay and join her for dinner. Time and place, Sophia. Being alone in her house, I found myself staring at the basement door. That's right, I'd looked for Edward everywhere except here. Maybe I'll find some clues there. The coast was clear, so I headed down to the basement. I only wanted to see if there's any traces of Edward, then out of there. But I ended up discovering something shocking. Edward was there. Someone must have brought him back. Before I could get a grip of the situation, I heard footsteps. This could be my one chance of getting answers. So I hid in the corner and couldn't believe my eyes when I saw the person entering was... Hey, I'm Sophia. If you missed part 1 and 2 of my story, then you should go and check it out. Here's a quick refresh. Somehow, I landed myself a boyfriend named Edward. He was everything I'd hoped for, except that he's a robot. The one day, he suddenly went missing. I tried to find him, but instead, I found Nathan, who was identical to Edward, but human. I wanted to know how this could be possible, so I started dating Nathan to figure it out, but still had no clue. Then, my jaw dropped when I saw Edward back at Miss Gabriel's basement, where I first found him. Just then, I heard footsteps coming in, and I had to hide myself. And the person walking in was... Nathan? Wearing a lab coat?
Next to him was another guy who looked just like Gabriel's grandson. So he must be James. But what did Nathan get to do with James and this basement lab?
The actuator's frazzled. We need to do a better job of making him waterproof. He's fixable, sir. We just need to give him better defense against the elements. I have this special coating paint that might help.
Good. No wonder you're his creator. Hold on. Nathan created Edward for James's company? He knew about him this whole time and he'd lied to me? But why?
Oh, and finish it before the launch this weekend. About that, I'm not sure this is the right time to launch the robot.
Why?
What if people use it for the wrong reason? Imagine a world where a robot replica would replace someone in important situations, like their own wedding or a proposal dinner. Wouldn't the other person get hurt once they find out? The person they have feelings for or getting married with is an apathetic robot?
You're talking about that girl, Sophie, aren't you?
Don't you dare tell me you have feelings for her now. You're the one who created the robot. You're the one who wants to show it to the world. Why let a test subject change your mind? She's not a test subject. You're saying this, but you're the one who programmed it to fall in love with the person who activated it and put a micro camera in its eyes to gather sample footage. Didn't you have fun replaying them over and over again?
Those words left me speechless. That's who I was to him this whole time? Just some guinea pig to test out his product? How could he be so heartless? I tried to stop the tears from falling, as now was not the time, but then accidentally knocked over a box.
Who's there?
I froze at the spot as James came straight at where I was hiding, peeking through the stuff covering me.
Found you, little mouse.
With panic surging through my body, I leapt to my feet and ran into the only elevator down here and pressed close before he could reach me. I thought I'd lost them as I reached the garden and stopped to take a break, when suddenly I felt someone gripping my arm. Nathan?
Soph, please, let me explain everything.
I didn't want to talk to him, so I tried pushing him off me. He touched my shoulder and tried calming me down, but this only made me angrier. You used me! How could you do that? I liked you, Nathan. I really liked you, but I was just an object in your stupid experiment.
It wasn't my intention to use you, Sophia. You snuck into the lab that day, accidentally activated the robot, and it fell in love with you. James saw that as an opportunity to see how the robot would interact with a human, and I went along.
Are you saying I brought it all on myself?
No, I
literally told you everything. I even repeatedly asked you about Edward, and you didn't have the decency to tell the truth, and you want to blame it all on me? Was anything happening between us real? Do you even like me?
Sophia,
My heart was raging as I waited for his answer, when...
Nathan, do you see her? No, she didn't go this way. You should go. Let me handle James.
I ran away immediately, but as soon as I got home, I realized something. That was my one chance of confronting them for the way they treated me like an experiment. But instead, I just ran away like a coward. Stupid Sophia! Anyway, now that everything's out in the open, I don't have any further questions. It's true they lied to me, but those feelings came from my own heart. I can't blame anyone but myself for being typical gullible Soph. But even days later, I couldn't shake those feelings off. I was too sad to eat or drink. Even thinking felt like a stab to my heart. I just didn't understand how Nathan could do this to me. Then I got a message from Gabriel. She was worried because I suddenly left the dinner that night and hadn't come back ever since. Oh, sweet Gabriel. She even asked if something was bothering me. She'd been nothing but nice to me. Even when everyone else had walked out of my life, from a robot to a real person. My parents didn't help either. They were never there for me. Gosh, if only I could tell her everything without troubling her. I sobbed myself to sleep. But the next day, a call from Gabriel woke me. I felt bad for ignoring her messages, so I ended up answering it.
Sophia, come over to my house. I have something very important to tell you.
I tried to ask her what it was, but she refused to say it on the phone. I agreed to go over there. So for the first time in days, I showered, dressed, and left the house. On arriving, I saw the car in the garage. When I went inside, I asked Gabriel about it, and she told me it was James's.
That boy has been locking himself up in his room for days. I was worried about him and wanted to know what was going on. But only when I asked about the robot did he tell me the truth about his project.
I'm listening, Gabriel.
I was so shocked to hear, and I bet you were too, right? James told me you had heard their whole conversation. I told James off for doing that to you. I apologize on his behalf. He's not a bad boy, but he's so passionate about his experiments that he overlooks the hurt it may cause. He has learned his lesson, especially now that the project is cancelled because that trainee Nathan has disappeared with the robot.
What? Nathan did what? But why? I thought he was only using me. Was there something that I didn't know? I called him right away, trying to figure out where he went, but it came straight to voicemail.
Is everything okay?
I reassured Gabriel, then asked her if I could talk to James. She agreed and led me up to his room. When he opened the door and saw me, he instantly slammed it shut. It was Gabriel who made him come out again, or he would be in big trouble.
You little devil! Who taught you such rude behavior?
Pfft, who would have thought that this dude was scared witless of his granny? Then Gabriel settled us down in the living room so that we could talk things out.
I'm really sorry for doing this to you, Sophia. You see, this is my life's work, and I've spent my entire youth on it. I just didn't expect Nathan to give up halfway through like that.
Aren't you afraid of hurting me when you say that?
You have every right to be, but I hope that you could see my side of the story, which I could imagine is what Nathan must have felt too. He used to have a vision about a robot that could help humans out in difficult situations, and could go to an extent of replacing them, and that got me intrigued. We were so dedicated to this project that when it was about to hit a dead end, we were devastated. But then you suddenly showed up and it started working smoothly. So we decided to keep on track of both of you and the robot to see how stable it is. But things changed when you started to have feelings for Edward, the robot, while Nathan developed feelings for you. That's when he doubted that this project was going to mess with people's feelings instead of helping them like you wanted. That's why he stole the robot and disappeared. He must have felt immense guilt for what he did to you. I didn't understand it back then, but Grandma's made me realize this was thoughtless of me. I looked at James and could tell that he seemed remorseful. Nathan told me to stop, but I was too cool-headed for that. I told him we were continuing. If he tried to stop me, then he'd be breaking the contract and have to pay compensation. So when he heard your wish to turn the robot into a real person, he appeared to make it up to you.
I couldn't believe that Nathan had done that for me. Yes, it was kind of messed up, but it was also kind of romantic. Then James told me how Nathan had not only left with the robot, but he'd also paid the compensation.
I'm bummed out about the robot, but it's a life lesson. You know, it's obvious Nathan's feelings for you are real.
It was a relief to have answers, but it was also sad. It felt so final, and even though I was still angry with Nathan, I wanted to see him again. If only he would zap into my room like Edward did in Twilight, I would definitely swoon. But it was time for me to stop daydreaming and move on. Well, almost. Everyone's allowed to dream, right? This love story may not have ended as happily as any of my romance books or movies, but it had given me new experiences. Love isn't perfect, but it made me evaluate what's important in life. Okay, so I was still single, but so what? I didn't need a boyfriend to be happy, and I didn't need to obsess about finding the perfect guy. I started focusing on myself and discovering new hobbies, made new friends, and I even told my parents how lonely I was feeling and how I missed having them around. They apologized for being neglectful, and even though traveling was part of their work, now when they're home, they make more effort to spend time with me. And even when they're away, they call and text me all the time. Also, I don't work for Gabriel anymore, but we're still great friends and I see her every day. 'Cause I'm now James's consultant. Surprise, huh? Beneath his thoughtless exterior, he's actually not so bad. I am helping him develop a new robot project as I happen to be an experienced robot expert. And under my supervision, the project would definitely not go wrong and mess with anyone's emotions anymore. As for Nathan, I hadn't heard or spoken to him since that day. I still think about him a lot, and I come here sometimes, to our special place. It's so peaceful, and I just let happy memories surround me. Then suddenly, I looked up and saw Nathan! I couldn't believe my eyes, but my body just moved subconsciously to give him a big hug. Sorry, but where have you been?
I was hoping one day I'd find you here. I'm sorry for making you a part of the project without your consent. That was unforgivable. But while watching you, I found myself falling for you. So I wanted to make your dreams a reality. I wanted to make Edward real for you.
You should have been honest with me.
I know. I handled things terribly. But believe it or not, the robot was made with good intentions. I was so lonely and I didn't want anyone to feel like that. But I'm not going to continue developing the robot. I've realized that people need to find the courage to face their emotions. No matter how advanced robots are, they're missing something. A heart. I just hope you can find it in your heart to forgive me. And thank you for making me a better person.
Looking at him, I just knew he meant every word. You have lots of flaws, but your flaws make you, you. Not a robot, but a real human being. And I accept those flaws. Isn't that what love is?
Indeed. So, will you give this robot version 2 another chance?
Shut up and kiss me now.
Hi, I'm Esmeralda, but most people call me Relda. And the first thing you should know about me, I'm a total brainiac. I love reading, solving problems, and challenging my mind. But for some reason, that makes me the class weirdo. Like, there was this one time in class when I was 15. My math teacher put this crazy equation on the board. Everyone looked at it like it was written in an alien language. But me? I yawned. Literally. All right, class, solve this, and you'll get an extra 30 marks for your next exam. I'll give you 1 hour. I'll need about 1 second. Very funny, Esmeralda. But math takes time, and done. The answer is 3,642. She's right. At that confirmation, my class was in chaos. She's a witch! And this is why no one invites her to parties. Sorry for having a brain, everyone. Sure, they hated me for being too smart, but when it came to competitions, maths, science, even arts, they needed me. With my bestie Annie by my side, we always won. Annie and I were 2 peas in a pod. Our brilliance made us really popular at school, but it also intimidated people. Guys avoided us like the plague, much to my mom's dismay. Quick introduction about my mom. She's like a teenager in an adult body. She always encouraged me to be more like my big sister, Eva, who was prettier and popular among the boys, but nowhere near as smart as me. I was actually in the same class with her because I skipped 2 grades. Go figure. There you are, skipping the picnic again? How will you ever get a boyfriend if you're always cooped in here? The Smiths have a cute son you will like. Mom, you've set me up with like 20 guys this month. Mom was set on matchmaking me with her friend's sons, hoping for a teenage romance. And Eva supported her because she was the typical big evil sister who loved to see me uncomfortable. The boys were always too dim for me, but Mom never gave up. So I played along like a good daughter. Sweetheart, meet Keith. He loves reading just like you. Oh, what do you read? Manga? You? Manga? Was this guy for real? Science books. Oh, I know some science facts. Did you know the sun is a planet? Science facts? More like science fiction. Actually, the sun is a G-type main sequence star composed primarily of hydrogen and helium, and it generates energy through nuclear fusion. Everyone was gaping, and my mom looked like she wanted to kick me. I'll go meet up with the others. See you around. I knew I was in deep soup with Mom, but no way was I dating a human potato just to please her. The second we got home, she pounced, but I was ready. What was that? Keep showing off and you'll end up 60 years old, still single with cats for babies. So what? I should dumb myself down to get a boyfriend? Yes, please. Not happening. There's gotta be someone who likes me as I am. Maybe some ugly nerd like you. Better an ugly nerd than a hot idiot like all your boyfriends. I tried to shut out their words, but really it bothered me. Was there a guy out there who saw my brains as an asset, not a problem? I decided to stop caring, but then he appeared. It was our final year of high school. Annie and I were busy solving equations for fun, when a horde of girls rushed past us like they just saw a celebrity. Where is he? Another girl flashed us a blurry phone pic of a tall guy with black hair. Whoever he was, I knew the type. Pretty face, zero brain. I was still trying to process what kind of mass hysteria I had just witnessed when a guy that fit the blurry image we just saw jumped out of the closet. Are they gone? I've never seen a guy that handsome in my life, and judging by Annie's face, neither had she.
Oh no, not another one. Look, before you faint or scream, just know I'm not signing autographs today. So shoot, go away.
And just like that, all perfection turned to ash. Excuse me? Who on earth do you think you are?
Your superstar.
Did he say my? My superstar? The guts of this guy. More like a super closet goblin, or a super vain guy who spends hours gelling his hair in front of a mirror. That hit his ego a little. We left him there, baffled. But when we got to class, I realized that Annie seemed a bit out of it. Earth to Annie. Oh my gosh, do you even realize who we just saw back there? A runaway janitor with an ego problem? Are you serious? That was Liam Cross, as in the Liam Cross! Award-winning singer, actor, model? It turns out my new arch-nemesis was a world-famous superstar, and I was the only one who didn't know him. Great. I'm his biggest fan! I have all his photos on my phone! You'll never notice girls like us, but a girl can only dream, right? Right. I had never seen this fangirl side of Annie, and thanks to me, she might never get that autograph. While she dreamed of Liam noticing her, I prayed to never see him again, but fate had other plans. Everyone, welcome Liam. Liam, pick a seat, please. Anywhere of your choice as our special student. I prayed he'd sit far away, but then...
There.
Way to answer prayers, Sky Lord!
Hope you don't mind, closet goblin.
I opened my mouth to retort but froze when I noticed Eva was watching me, her eyes burning with hate. But she didn't keep me guessing about what her deal was. I don't know what witchcraft you pulled, nerd, but stay away from Liam. He's mine. Hello to you, too. I'm serious. Whatever you did, undo it. He's mine. Mine! Was my sister for real? Fine. Abracadabra. The rock star janitor is free from my spell. All yours. I didn't want any trouble with Eva, so I made a mental note to avoid Liam as much as possible. And was successful for some time, until the universe pulled a number on me. Our final exams were in a week, but instead of studying, Eva and Mom had the brilliant idea of throwing a neighborhood party. I couldn't concentrate there, so I went to the school's library to read instead. Suddenly, the lights flickered out, and I realized I wasn't alone. A sudden thud echoes from a dark corner of the room. Ah! Who's there? Either the library was haunted or someone else was here, but I wasn't going down without a fight. I have a weapon, and I will use it! Just as I was ready to strike, the lights flickered back on, revealing... Ah! Liam!
Were you about to beat me with that?
Depends. Are you the candy man?
No, I was here to study. It's the only place I get some peace.
You study?
Wow, just because I'm famous doesn't mean I'm dumb, you know.
Oh, really? What exactly are you studying? Better not be some comic book.
Advanced calculus. Deriving the rate of change for a 3-variable function. You?
I fought hard to hide how impressed I was. Quantum mechanics. Light can't pick between being a particle or a wave, so yeah, kinda busy.
Guess that makes 2 of us. What do you say? Let's study together.
For the first time in my short life, I genuinely enjoyed a guy's company. I had judged him as another arrogant celebrity, but I was so wrong. He even had his driver drop me off at home. Thanks for the ride.
Anytime. Hey, there's this arcade I sneak into. Want to come this weekend?
I was nodding my head before he finished. Yes! Sure, I'll destroy you.
It's a challenge. See you Sunday, Ralda.
I forced back the shiver on how he called my name and bounced into my house, only to find Mom and Ava had been eavesdropping on us all along. Real mature, guys. You and Liam? How? Why? What is happening? Relax. We just got stuck in the library during the storm. He was studying. Liam? Studying? With you? That's impossible. He's too what? Too good-looking to have a brain? Mom, tell Ralda to back off. Liam's mine. They're even planning a date. Ralda, maybe you should rethink this. Of course, Mom always took sides with Eva. Rethink what? We're just friends. Hanging out doesn't mean we're dating, and even if we were, what? He's too good for me? Sweetheart, I just think Eva and Liam make more sense together. They both have that effortless charm. And I don't? You're just, different. That word. Different. It had never felt like a compliment. Go ahead, Mom. Call me a weirdo like everyone else. You know, sometimes I wonder if I'm truly your daughter. I was done letting Mom push me around. Ralda! So, against their wishes, I went to the arcade to meet Liam. He had paid the arcade off, so it was just 2 of us.
Because if anyone recognizes me, I'll be mobbed.
One of the perks of being famous, I presume.
Come on. Ready to get beat?
The time at the arcade was the best I had had in a while. I won some, he won some. The day went by so fast, and before I knew it, Liam was walking me to my door, but I wasn't ready to say goodbye yet.
I had fun today.
Me too. And then, somehow, we were wrapped in a hug. I felt warm, steady, safe. The sudden burst of camera clicks made us tear away. Oh my, you two are perfect together. Hold still, just one more. Ah, young love. Mom, what are you doing? Ralda and her boyfriend sitting on a tree. K-I-S. Mom, we're not Liam, right? I just want you to know you have my blessings.
Thanks, ma'am. I'll remember that.
How did Mom go from warning me about Liam to encouraging us? Then I got it. This was her silent apology for last night. I happily linked arms with Mom and we made up. Just as we happily walked inside, we saw Eva standing there, watching us. Mom, you're taking their side? Sweetheart, I
I thought you wanted Liam for me. You would have to look elsewhere, Eva. I don't want you two fighting over a boy. Your sisters first. For once, Mom stood up for me over Eva, but it wasn't my happy ending yet. In the whirlwind of my new mom-approved friendship with Liam, another friendship was slipping away. Hey, Rhoda, my brother's throwing a party this weekend. You have to come. Annie, I already have plans. It's Liam again, isn't it? Gosh, she made it sound like I was cheating on her. I told Liam we'd check out the new park. Look, he's just playing with you. Guys like him don't roll with nerds like us. You better wake up. That's not true. He really likes me. Annie, I'll make it up to you, I promise. Movie night today? Whatever. I promised myself I'd call her later when she'd hopefully cooled off. But I totally forgot when Mom took us out for dinner to celebrate her promotion. To finally moving up in the world. Everything was going well, except for Eva's apparent ongoing grudge for me. I wouldn't put it past her to poison me. The moment the thought left my mind, my face started itching and my throat began to tighten. Mom, something's wrong. Rhoda! I would have blamed Eva for what was happening, but I knew better. I had experienced this before. It's our seafood allergy! The last thing I remembered was Mom calling an ambulance and Eva recording a video to show the doctor. And then, darkness. As scary as the reaction was, recovery was a breeze. I was discharged the same day. Annie visited after I told her, but I kept it from Liam. I didn't want him to see me like this. Wow, I mean, I know you told me it was bad, but seeing it? Geez, Ralda, that's next level allergy. Thanks for the words of comfort. I'm getting snacks. I was just relieved I was getting along with everyone. Annie, Liam, even Eva seemed to have cut me some slack. What I didn't know was that it was the calm before the storm. The next morning at the school assembly, I was barely listening as the principal droned on when I noticed something odd. What? Something on my face? Instead of responding, the giggling and pointing at me only worsened. I glanced over at someone's phone and felt my breath leave me. The video! My swollen, lumpy face from yesterday. My worst moment had gone viral. Attention, students. Our school has a very special student. She may be a genius at math, but she's clearly failing in attractiveness. Liam, is Miss Mutant Face really your type? Everyone burst out laughing, and I desperately searched for Liam to see his reaction. I couldn't stand the disgust on his face, so I ran out of the hall. Eva had to be the one behind this. She's been against Liam and I since day one. When I saw her, my fury exploded. What on earth is wrong with you? Excuse me? You leaked my allergy video. I knew you were petty, but this? You'd humiliate me over a boy? Look, I won't lie. I've been jealous of you. You're younger but smarter, always ahead. It's embarrassing. And yeah, maybe I hated that sometimes, but I'd never do this to you. You're still my baby sister. Something about Eva's tone convinced me that she couldn't be lying. Then, who? The night Annie came over, I noticed someone copied a file from my phone. I didn't know what it was because the history was deleted, but maybe you should ask Annie. My stomach twisted into knots. But she's my friend! At Eva's urging, I confronted Annie. You did it, didn't you? You sent that video. You humiliated me in front of everyone. Why? Yes, I did it. Want to know why? Because you broke the cis code. We were supposed to be the same. The nerds, the outcasts. But then you got him. Liam frickin' Cross, the only guy I've ever loved. You betrayed me. You're sick. Liam and I are just friends. Apologize now or I'm reporting you. Go ahead. You have no proof. No witnesses. It's my word against yours, babe. Before I could respond, Ava and her friends popped out as planned. Actually, it's our word against yours.
We heard everything, Annie.
And now we have proof. Annie couldn't lie her way out of the offense. She was suspended the next day. With that dust settled, I couldn't bring myself to see Liam. I couldn't shake the thought that he must see me differently after what happened. But one day he caught me.
Rhoda, wait! Can we talk?
If this is about that vid...
I don't care about that stupid video. Seriously, do you think I'd stop liking you over an allergy reaction? I tried checking on you, but you kept running away.
Because I thought you'd be disgusted.
Not even close.
My heart was racing.
So, everyone keeps assuming we're dating. What do you say we make it real? After all, we have your mama's blessing already, right?
Don't feel pressured to pretend to be someone you're not. There will always be someone out there who loves you for who you truly are. So just be you. Hi, I'm Tiffany. I came from... A moment, please. Sophia, what now? I spilled my smoothie. Now I don't have any breakfast. Code red. I repeat, code red. Oh, before we continue, smash that like and subscribe button, because this story might just make your brain explode. Meet my sister, age 5. Occupation, full-time drama queen. I'm so sorry. My hand slipped in. Relax, I got you. When I was 10, my mom passed away after Sophia's birth. From that day on, everything changed.
Dad was so heartbroken because he loved Mom so much and became distant. It was as if he had just disconnected from the world. I couldn't let our family fall apart, so I became the stand-in mom. My days were packed with a crazy schedule. The house manager, the diaper boss, the chef. Cleaning and cooking? No biggie. I learned from the best when Mom was around. But throw Sophia into the mix? Total nightmare. Anyway, for Mom and my baby sister, I kept going, all while waiting for Dad to stop grieving and start parenting. But instead of coming around, Dad just got worse. I wasn't just raising Sophia. I was raising my lazy dad, too. Wake up, Dad! You're late! Again! I had to wake him up for work, pick his outfits, remind him to brush his teeth. Like, come on! I was a kid, not his personal assistant. But no matter how exhausted I was, there were moments with Sophia that made it all worth it. I have a surprise for you! For being the best sister in the whole wide galaxy. Ooh, better not be another crayon drawing of a potato that's me. Nope, even better. Ta-da! My first tooth! What? Ew! My teacher said we could give it as a tomato to the person we love the most. You mean a memento, weirdo? Yeah, that. And I choose you, big sis. It was kind of ew, but also, aw, I felt so lucky to have such an adorable little sister. But being a one-girl army was not easy. Sometimes I snapped.
What happened?
Oh, gee, I don't know, Dad. Maybe because I'm trying to cook, clean the disgusting fridge, and cram for my science quiz all at once, while you're in there glued to your video games like it's your full-time job.
Hey, the Naruto game is a masterpiece.
You're missing the point. I need help. Either step up or hire someone. You can't afford it.
Sweetie, you're doing such an amazing job. But I can't just trust a stranger around Sophia. What if they hurt her when we're not looking?
That always got me. I have watched enough horror movies to know he wasn't wrong, so I sucked it up. For Sophia, because I couldn't bear anyone messing with my baby sis. But no matter how much I sucked it up, it was draining me. At school, I couldn't focus, could barely stay awake.
Tiffany, wake up. This part's gonna be on the test.
Oh, yeah, totally listening. I would have been at the bottom of the class if not for Akeem. We have known each other since junior high. He was always looking out for me. He was my best friend, and sometimes I wished he could be more. Even though he didn't live next door or anything, Akeem came round a lot, especially when I needed help. Like one time I got really sick. Dad didn't know because he had left early for work, and I was all alone with Sophia, so I called him.
Tiffany, you're burning up. And now you're all red.
She's red because she's blushing, silly. Sophia!
You should be in the hospital. Did you call your dad?
He'd take forever to get here. I just need someone to watch Sophia. I can watch myself. You're always taking care of me. I can care for you, too.
Then let's take care of her together.
Yay! And just like that, I got a full day of love and pampering from my baby sis. And my bestie/secret crush. By nightfall, I was feeling much better, but probably not well enough to take what came next. Thanks so much for coming today, and every other day. You've been such an amazing friend to me.
What are friends for, right? Though, if I'm being honest, I've never really wanted to just be your friend.
My breath hitched. Did he just...
A little birdie told me you wouldn't mind if we were more than friends, too.
Sophia?
She said you get all goofy when I text. And, you kind of sleep-talked my name one day, but you made her promise not to tell me.
I didn't know if I was to feel embarrassed or happy. Oh my god, I'm never trusting that kid again. So, you like me too?
From the very first day I set my eyes on you. You're beautiful, Tiffany. But more than that, you're kind. Amazing.
It was as if my heart wanted to jump out of my chest. Like this was just a sweet dream that would disappear the moment I opened my eyes.
What do you say? A real date tomorrow? Just you and me. Somewhere beautiful. Somewhere you can just be Tiffany.
I hesitated, just for a beat. Sophia. I can't leave Sophia.
Tomorrow is Sunday. Your dad should be home.
My dad can't take good care of her. What if she chokes on her toothbrush or tries to boil water and scalds her or...
One night, Tiff. Just one. You've given so much of yourself to everyone else. Isn't it time you gave a little to yourself too?
He was right. I deserved a break. Just some time for myself doing what I love with who I love. Okay, let's make it a date. Just for us. I was so excited to go on a date with Akeem. The moment Dad came back, I told him about my date with Akeem, begging him to take care of Sophia for just one evening.
I'm happy for you, sweetie. Akeem's a great guy. As for Sophia, yeah, I think I can handle her for a few hours.
Really? Thanks, Dad! With that, I was all set to go. The next evening, I doled myself for the first time since I could remember.
What if she needs to go potty?
She can take care of her business.
What if she's hungry?
There's food in the fridge.
What if...
Dad, she's 6, not a baby. You just need to watch her so she doesn't, hurt herself or destroy something. That's right. Sophia's a big girl now. I can even take care of Daddy, too. I should have known from how jumpy Dad was that leaving Sophia with him would be a disaster. What I didn't know was that disaster was going to follow me to my date. Akeem and I had just been in the restaurant for 1 hour, having the time of our lives when 2 familiar figures took the table next to us. They raised newspapers to their faces like they were undercover agents. But I know those little fingers anywhere.
Isn't that...
Yeah, it's them. Could they really not give me one moment of peace? Not even for my first date? What's the meaning of all this? It was his idea.
Just pretend we aren't here, sweetie.
Pretend? Why are you even here?
Sophia said she was bored.
I just wanted him to play with me.
I didn't know how to entertain her, so I brought her here.
I was so angry and embarrassed, it felt like my face was on fire.
It's okay, Tiffany. We can just...
No, it's not okay. Everything is messed up. With tears spilling from my eyes, I dashed out of the restaurant. I went back home to soak my pillow with tears. I felt like a prisoner in a tiny cell where I couldn't turn. Akeem called me so many times, but I couldn't answer. What do I even say? How do I explain this mess I'm living in? How long will I let my life be controlled by everyone but me? Should I just run away? Just when I was considering the possibility of running from home, Sophia came to my room. Are you mad at me? I'm sorry I ruined your date. I'm not mad at you. I'm mad at Dad. He couldn't just give me a few hours. A single night to myself, is that too much to ask? Then why don't you tell him? My teacher says if you're mad at someone, scream at their face and let them know you're hurting. Sophia was right. I had been making Dad's life easy while mine crumbles. It's time to put my foot down. With all the courage I had, I decided it was time to confront Dad. I've had enough, Dad. I'm sick of being the only one who takes care of things around here. It's your job as a father to take care of your kids, not mine. I don't even have friends because I'm too busy doing what you should be doing.
What's the big deal, Tiffany? You've been doing this for years. You should be used to it by now.
I'm tired. I want a life. I want to be a normal teenager. I can't even study without thinking about what to cook for dinner. I do everything for you, everything, and you couldn't even give me this one night with Akeem.
Maybe if you hadn't gone on that date, you would have time to study. Stop being selfish, Tiffany. These little chores you keep whining about aren't a big deal.
I couldn't believe my ears. I'm the selfish one? You think the things I do, the things I sacrifice, are just little chores? Clarity hit me then. My dad's forgotten what responsibility feels like. He thinks it's okay to pass everything on to me, to treat me like I'm just here to clean up his mess. And now he's entitled to everything I do without any gratitude. Well, no more. That stupid good kid is over from today. If he won't step up as a parent, I sure won't be his replacement. So I stopped waking him up for work, and I stopped cooking his meals too.
Tiffany, I'm late. Why didn't you wake me up for work?
There's something called an alarm clock, and it sure doesn't look like me.
Fine. Did you at least make me breakfast? Something I can take to work.
Sure. Milk and cereal. Oh, and by the way, your shirt's got something on the back. He tried to look at the back of his shirt in horror. It was covered in stains.
You didn't wash it?
We have a laundry room for that. Dad probably thought I was going to go back to my old self in a day or two. But when I refused to lift a finger, even after 2 weeks, it began to sink in.
The house hasn't been cleaned in days. Tiffany!
I have a test coming up, Dad. Sorry, I don't have time. Eventually, Dad gave in and started doing the chores, but he wasn't good at any of them. He almost burned himself cooking. His work clothes stayed wrinkled no matter how hard he ironed, and he nearly fell asleep while helping Sophia with her homework. I watched him struggle every day, dragging himself between work and chores. A part of me wanted to help, but no. Not until he owned up to what he'd done. Not until he said he was sorry. And then something unexpected happened. One day, the moment Akeem and I got home after school, the kitchen was on fire and Dad was busy snoring on the couch. Dad! Dad! The house is on fire!
Oh no! I forgot I was making dinner!
Where's Sophia?
She's asleep upstairs. I'm calling the firefighters!
Dad and I rushed to the base of the stairs to go and grab Sophia, but the fire had spread to the base of the stairs. No! We won't make it back in time!
Tiffany, stay back. I'll go. Get outside. We'll jump from the balcony.
There's too much fire! I'll come with you!
Tiffany, please! It's too dangerous!
Before the fire could spread any further, Dad dashed through the flames and ran upstairs to get Sophia. Meanwhile, Akeem grabbed me, pulling me out from the house as I cried and struggled to break free. Some neighbors were already there with racing hearts. I prayed for Dad and Sophia to make it out. My prayers were answered. Through the thick curtain of smoke, I saw them, but they still had to jump.
Akeem, catch!
Akeem caught Sophia like he was some superhero, just as Dad got ready to jump. The house exploded. No! When we all regained our bearings, I found Dad near a pile of shrubs. Dad, please wake up!
I'm awake, sweetie. I'm so sorry. Tiffany, just a few weeks of doing what you've done for years, and I nearly destroyed everything. How did you do it?
I'm so sorry. Don't worry, I can.
No, sweetie. I'm not asking you to take over again. I'm asking for your forgiveness. I should have never dumped all that responsibility on you. You're a kid. You had school, a life. I failed you, but I promise I'll be a better dad, starting now.
It took burning down the house for Dad to finally admit he was wrong. At that moment, all the misunderstandings seemed to fade away. My love for my family didn't change. I still helped out where I could, but now it was balanced. Sophia seemed happy too about how Dad had changed.
Ugh! Whoa!
It means she loves you.
Dad was finally acting like, well, a dad. Still, he didn't magically become super dad overnight. If anything, he just kept burning everything.
Maybe housekeeping's still a bit too much for me.
The three of us just laughed. Life wasn't perfect, but it was filled with love, and that's what mattered. My dad finally decided to hire a housekeeper to help clean up and take care of Sophia. Since then, life started to settle down, and I finally had time to be just a teenager, to do the things I wanted, like dating with Akeem. Yes, helping others is honorable, but never forget, you deserve time for yourself, and you need to learn how to love yourself as well.
I sprinted to the cafeteria, hoping that there would be something tasty left. This was my teacher's fault. She made me stay behind after class.
Mindy, your grades are too low. Yada yada.
Oh no! All I saw were empty trays everywhere. My stomach rumbled at the thought of having to return to class hungry. But then, like a mirage in the desert, the last loaf of bread, chillin' next to Tom the Hottie. Without a second thought, I grabbed it and bit into it. Chewy. Very chewy. Then suddenly, everyone burst out laughing. That's when it hit me. There was no bread. I was munching on Tom's ballet shoes. Hey, I'm Mindy, and I belong to a family of champion weightlifters. Yep, my dad's genes explain why I'm the tallest girl in school. I used to long to become a weightlifter just like Dad, but then I met my BFF, Tiffany. Suddenly, I discovered a world of pretty dresses and delicate spins called figure skating, and I couldn't look at my ugly weightlifting shorts in the same way again. Tiff took me ice skating at the mall, and I loved it. Since then, that's all I've wanted to be. Okay, so I may not be petite like Tiff, but I was smart enough to use algorithms to calculate angles during training. Tiff and I both got scholarships into this amazing sports-focused high school, and yeah, that's when the trouble started. It didn't matter what cute outfits I wore or how normal I tried to be. Being a giraffe made me stand out, and being with pretty, petite Tiff made it worse. The only ones who didn't ignore me were the weightlifting team, but that's only because my dad was their coach. Then, to make things even worse, my clumsiness and appetite of an elephant accidentally got me on Tom's bad side. This was bad, as almost every girl and guy in this place was obsessed with him. Ever since then, no one took me seriously, and trying to avoid my dad so he didn't lecture me on giving up skating for weightlifting was tiring. I was in the changing rooms when Tiff came over. Oh, I forgot it was the annual health check day today. I shouldn't have eaten that muffin earlier. Oh, no, I forgot about that too. No way could I have my weight published for the entire school to see. I'd be nicknamed Mindy the Massive. So when no one was looking, I sneaked out of there. But trying to find a hiding spot big enough for this oversized body isn't easy. The janitor's closet. But as I hurried toward it, I bumped into Tom. Have you ever heard of ladies first? You call yourself a lady? Fine, lady. Let me have this. In exchange, I have this very yummy snack for you. What snack? This bread. How dare you! At that moment, the door suddenly swung open, and the janitor yelled at us to stop kissing? Ugh, what? Thanks to this unnecessary misunderstanding, we ended up in the principal's office along with our parents. My dad even brought the entire weightlifting team along and started throwing a tantrum. Mindy, you skipped classes! I couldn't mention the health checkup, so in a panic, I babbled out, I was on a date with Tom. Who would ever date you, Miss Brahma Bull? Then there was a loud bang as my dad smashed the table in half. Bull? Who are you calling a bull? I mean, Mindy is strong and cute, just like a bull. Our love language is a bit, special, isn't it, honey? Oh, my lovey donkey. You're revealing a little too much. Everyone gasped in shock, and the next thing I knew, Dad burst into tears of joy and started hugging everyone.
My pumpkin finally has a boyfriend. This calls for a party at my house, but if you ever break my little girl's heart, you're doomed.
I thought it was just a white lie, until the next day the stampede of students bombarded me with questions.
How long have you and Tom been together?
Who made the first move? You or him?
You have to come sit with us.
So this white lie had actually grown legs and was sprinting. But strangely, this feels interesting. Suddenly, I wasn't just Tiffany's oddball sidekick anymore. Instead, I had all the limelight, and this shouldn't be ending so soon. No, I had to extend my fake dating with Tom. So right when Tom walked by, I immediately dragged him away amid the roars of approval from the students. The entire weightlifting team is spying on us. Do you want to feel my dad's wrath if he finds out you were lying to him?
You started this.
I don't think my dad will see it that way.
Fine, I'll play your boyfriend. And you stop eating my shoes.
Deal. So we continued the dating facade, but I didn't expect that the weightlifting team actually was spying on us everywhere. We had to keep up the act. Tom escorted me to all of my classes, stuck adorable notes on my locker, and during lunch, he fed me spaghetti and used his sleeve to wipe the sauce off my mouth. We ended up spending most of our time together, and the spies definitely thought we were the real deal. I knew this was all just an act, but he was like a big cheese ball. My cheese ball, so still, it felt good. The more time I spent with Tom, the more I found myself liking him. He listened as I told him how hard I worked to get into the school, and in return, I learned new aspects about him, such as how much he loved ballet dancing, even though his family and his former friends hadn't always been understanding about it, and that his cold exterior was due to this, as he didn't want anyone who would question his dreams in his life again. We started growing closer, and he did some super cute things, such as cheering me on during skating practice and bringing me hot chocolate to warm me up. I was enjoying getting to know Tom, but unfortunately, not everyone was a part of our fan club. No matter what I said, Tiff wouldn't believe that he was anything other than a bad boy. She would send me endless texts just to force me to choose between Tom and her. I knew ever since Tom appeared, I spent less time with her, but she was being too much. To top it off, she even lied about being injured during practice to ruin my date. I gave Tiff the cold shoulder after that. She needed to reflect on her actions. One day I was sorting out my locker when Rachel, one of the most popular girls in our team, aka Tiff's rival, approached me and asked me to join her group. But what about Tiff? Tiff always told me that Rachel's no good, and what's wrong? Do you have to ask for Tiffany's permission before befriending someone? Or what? Aren't you more famous than she is? Right! I need to stop being seen as her sidekick. I have my own choice, my own friends. So I agreed to join Rachel's group. And I gotta admit, it's pretty sweet being with a popular clique. And on the other hand, dating the cutest boy. Spending all this time with Tom made me realize something. I had feelings for him. Real feelings. Pretty soon I found I couldn't help but babble about Tom all the time to Rachel. Oh, honey, you're so cute. But I don't think you should keep seeing that guy. Huh? Why? Okay, I see. Now you're acting like Tiff too. No, I mean, there's a rumor that he's dating someone behind your back. Tiff. I saw them looking cozy together. What? No way! But Tiff did seem jealous, and she did ruin my date with Tom, so maybe there was some truth to this. Rachel's words were bugging me, so after school, I went to Tiff's house to ask her about it. That's when I saw Tiff crying in Tom's arms. Rachel was right. Tiff and Tom were together. I left before either of them saw me. Sobbing, I texted Tom ending our fake relationship and blocked both numbers. The next day at school, everyone was gossiping about how Tom had left me for Tiff. And worst of all, being the giant I was, I couldn't hide away from it. Even Rachel and her group turned on me. What's wrong? Have you fallen off your high horse? Once an ugly duckling, always an ugly duckling. I couldn't bear staying there and watching them laughing at me, so I left school and went back home. I wasn't going back there, and no one could make me. I locked myself in my room and refused to leave it until...
Is this because of that Tom? Pumpkin, I'll teach him a lesson.
I reluctantly opened the door.
Mindy, you look terrible. What's happened?
It all became too much, and I ended up blurting everything out to Dad. I'm a joke. No one takes me seriously because of how I look. No boys like me, no one wants to be my friend, and no one believes I can skate.
Pumpkin, you got into one of the top sports schools out there. That means you're a talented skater, regardless of what anyone else says, including me. Fame is just temporary. Look at me, once a world champion, but now just a beer-bellied man whose sole life purpose is to raise my pumpkin.
Dad.
All right, you're too strong to let these dummies knock you down. Got it?
Dad was right. I couldn't give up on my dreams because of other people's opinions. So, the next day I returned to school and ignored all the gops and jibes. On seeing Tom and Tiff together, I stared over them and carried on walking. This was the first step in cutting toxic people out of my life and learning to love myself. Which is why, when the teacher asked for volunteers for the skating competition, as Tiff put up her hand, so did I.
We all know you only did that so you can face off Tiff.
They could think what they wanted. I wasn't backing down. Then my phone beeped. It was a message from Rachel asking me to meet her outside. As soon as I reached her, she started asking me all these questions, as if she cared. Suddenly worried for me? Where's your sarcastic smirk? I'm sorry for the other day. Everyone was staring at me, so I had to play along with them. Trust me, I would never look down on you. Okay, I didn't expect this. Anyway, this is Alex. I don't want you to be the only one without a skating partner, so I found him for you. Forgive me? She seemed so genuine that I couldn't not believe her. I was once in her place, scared of the judgment and peer pressure, so I knew how it felt. Maybe Rachel did mean well. Besides, I'd already lost Tiff as a friend. I didn't want to be alone. I arrived home to find Tiff already waiting for me.
Why are you being besties with Rachel?
She ridiculed you in front of everyone. You've changed, Mindy. Do you want me to be the same and be picked on forever? And you're not a great friend either. You just want me to live in your shadow and witness how happy you are with your new boyfriend. What about you? You left me too. I felt stunned. How could she be that upset when she was the one who now had Tom? When I'd calmed down, I thought back to what Tiff had said and wondered if I really had changed. Tiff was always there for me, regardless of what I looked like, but I didn't tell her Tom and I weren't for real, as I guess it made me feel superior. I joined Rachel's group without considering how bad it would make Tiff feel. I realized that I had an inferiority complex toward my own best friend. On the day of the competition, I went to talk to Tiff, but I couldn't find her. I smashed my routine with Alex, but during Tiff's turn, I noticed that something seemed wrong. Then during her spin, I saw her lose her balance and thud! She fell hard and was rushed to the hospital. I rushed over to accompany her there, but Rachel stopped me. Why did you do that with her skates? Was that the reason why you told me to keep it a secret about you sneaking into Tiffany's waiting room? I tried to explain that I didn't do anything, but then the judge announced the results. Because of Tiff's mishap, I'd scored enough to land the last spot in the final round.
I won't work with someone who uses tricks to win. Giant girl, you're on your own.
Everyone started to groan at me, and I began to panic. Why does no one want to believe me? The final round was around the corner, but I couldn't stop worrying. As I stepped onto the ice, I spotted Alex smirking while standing next to Rachel and realized they'd played me. I stood there as still as a statue and too frightened to skate alone. Then the crowd fell silent, and I saw someone wobbly approaching me. Tom!
The rumors about me and Tiff aren't true. Mindy, I like you. So, how about it, bull girl? Will you let this ballet boy be your partner?
Confused yet touched, I nodded.
Now chin up. Look.
And in the stand was Tiff, holding up a banner while screaming, "Mindy, you can do it!" Energized by newfound courage, Tom and I fumbled through our routine. And even though we made loads of mistakes, it didn't matter, as I felt so happy to know that I had Tom and Tiff on my side, and that I hadn't given up. I came last and Rachel won, but as she's receiving the trophy, the judges had some discussion. Turns out, another student had video evidence of Rachel damaging Tiff's skates. As they took the trophy off her, she got angry and shouted, "Obviously, I wouldn't want to be friends with a freak like you. I was just using you so I could eliminate Tiff." Her words would have once stung me, but now I didn't care what she had to say, and I hurried off to find Tiff. On seeing her, I gave her a big hug, and she told me the truth. Sorry I couldn't tell you sooner. Actually, Tom is my half-brother. My dad's a famous skater. He lied that he was single, but he wasn't. He was married. He refused to be a part of my life, and Mom was too afraid to go public about what he did. She struggled with no financial help from him. I resented my dad and presumed Tom would be just like him. I never told you this as I was embarrassed, but turns out you're right. Tom is actually a great guy. Oh wow, now everything made sense. All these secrets had led to all this confusion, so we promised never to keep anything from each other again. Thanks to the friends that really care for me, I've learned to love myself, and I use my size as a strength. Being unique isn't a weakness, it's an advantage. And best of all, the people that matter like me just as I am.